Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Betty and in this video I'm going to talk about the books I read in November. So let's begin the video. The first book I read in November was Her Favorite Jack-o'-lantern by Rebecca Rennick, and this book is about Jack, and he was in the army for 8 years and now he went back to his hometown. While his ex-girlfriend is chasing him because he wants him back, Jack only has eyes for Sally, his neighbor, and Sally is different. Her house is completely black. She drives a hearse and she dresses like it's Halloween every single day, even during the summer. And most people find her weird and try to avoid her, but Jack is actually really interested in her. So during Halloween weekends, like at the end of October, beginning of November, I wanted to read something with Halloween vibes, and I found this book. I think it was also on my TBR last year, but this year I actually had time to read it, and I actually had a lot of fun. It was cute, it was funny sometimes. I really liked Jack. He is like a walking green flag. I liked Sally because her personality is just great, and I really enjoyed reading this one. The next book I read was Keeping 13 by Chloe Walls. I try not to give too many spoilers in this video, but it's hard not to because this is the second book in the series. So yeah, if you don't want to get like any spoilers about book 1, Binding 13, skip this part. So this book is still about Shannon and Johnny, and they are both in the hospital right now. Johnny is there because of his injury, and Shannon was almost beaten to death, and the person who did it is still walking free, so she's not safe, and Johnny and his friends are doing whatever they can to keep her safe. So I am really enjoying this series. Obviously it's not really fun because it's about heavy stuff, it's about abuse and all that kind of shit. It is intense. I have to admit, I thought that book number 1 was way more intense than the second book, but I still cried. I love how caring Johnny and his friends and his family are. That made me happy. And even though the book was a little bit predictable, I still really enjoyed it, and I didn't mind that it was kind of predictable. The next book I read in November was Say You Swear by Megan Brandy, and this book is about Ariana, and she meets Noah at the beach during the summer. At that point, she is still in love with Chase, but after the summer they go to the same school, the same college, so they start spending more time together and they are really enjoying their time together, and slowly they fall in love. And then something terrible happens and Noah isn't sure if they ever will be together again as a couple. So this book was like very popular on TikTok, I believe, not too long ago. I'm not really sure. But let's start with the things I liked. The one thing I liked about this book was Noah. He was like the perfect boyfriend and he was just amazing. I really liked him. But the reason why I didn't like this book was it was so slow and nothing really happens until like the last 100 pages or something. It was kind of boring in my opinion. I still gave it 3 stars on Goodreads because of Noah, but other than that I was just not interested in the whole story. Another book I read in November is a very short novel. It is Hot for Slayer by Ailey Hazelwood, and it's less than 100 pages or something. It's about a vampire and a vampire slayer, and the slayer is obviously hunting the vampire, and one day he loses his memory, and that changes the whole dynamic in their relationship. The things I liked about this book is that it is very short. I really like it. I'm trying to read 100 books on Goodreads this year, so it was nice that this book had less than 100 pages. And I also like vampires, so I obviously like this book as well. On the other hand, I also find it very hard to form an opinion about it because it is so short. I finished in like 1 or 2 hours. So yeah, I don't really have an opinion. I liked it because it's about vampires, but other than that, I don't really have an opinion about this book. Another book I read in November was Some Kind of Famous by Ava Wilder, and this book is about marriage, and she used to be like super famous, but she couldn't handle the fame, so now she lives in the middle of nowhere in a small town, and she is living with her twin sister, but her twin sister is pregnant, so she has to move out. She already bought a house like a long time ago, but she still needs to renovate it a little bit. She knows she can ask Nico for that, but she's kind of scared to ask him because the first time they met, she was half naked. The thing I liked about this book is that it has small town vibes. I love small town vibes. I grew up in one. I hated it living in a small town, but in books, I love it. The thing I didn't like about this book is not the author's fault, because it was more like I couldn't connect with the main characters. I just didn't care about them and the whole story, and yeah, I just didn't care. So it wasn't my favorite book. The next book I read was The Apple Pie Ice Cream Parlor by Laurie Gilmore, and this book was only available in the Netherlands and Belgium. It was English Book Week, which meant that if you bought an English book, then you would get this book for free. I believe the worldwide release is next year or something. But this book is about Charlie and Leo, and they work together at school. They are very good friends, and then one morning they kiss, and that changes everything. So this book only has like 90 pages, which was really good for my Goodreads challenge because I'm a little bit behind. I liked it. I liked the story. It was cute. The only thing I did not like is the size of this book, because there's a huge difference and it does not look great on my shelf, but I can't complain because I got it for free. So these were the books I read in November. I wanted to read more, but I didn't. I don't know why. I was kind of in a reading slump, I think. But next month will be better, hopefully. I will have more time to read because I don't have to work. So yeah, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.